and welcome to another GCSE revision video, and in this video we're going to be looking at subtracting algebraic fractions. We subtract algebraic fractions the same way we subtract numerical fractions. You may recall that with numerical fractions what we do is make the denominators the same and then subtract the numerators. Except our first job with algebraic fractions is to stipulate that the denominators cannot go to 0. So since the denominator of x plus 1 over x minus 1 is x minus 1, we cannot allow x to equal 1. And the denominator of x plus 2 over x minus 2 is x minus 2. So we cannot allow x to be 2 because otherwise the denominator would be 0. And if the denominator of a fraction is 0, then the whole fraction makes no sense. We say that it's undefined. Then we just make the denominators the same, and the easiest way to do that is just to multiply the two denominators. And now we multiply the numerators by whatever we multiply the denominator by. So in the case of x plus 1 over x minus 1, we multiply the denominator by x minus 2, so we have to multiply the numerator by x minus 2. And in the case of x plus 2 over x minus 2, we multiplied the denominator by x minus 1, so we have to multiply the numerator by x minus 1. Now that the denominators are the same, we can just combine the numerators. When we subtract bracketed terms, the most important thing we remember is that we are subtracting all of whatever it is that's inside the brackets. Now, if we have something like 2x plus 1 minus all of 2x plus 1, we would expect the answer to be 0 because we're subtracting the same thing. Now if we just took 2x plus 1 minus 2x and then plus 1, we would end up with 2x minus 2x plus 1 plus 1, and we'd end up with 2, which obviously makes no sense. So we need to remember that we're subtracting the 2x term, but we're also subtracting the plus 1 term. So that plus 1 term becomes a minus 1. So when we come to get rid of the brackets, we must remember that the signs are going to flip-flop. So what's positive becomes negative and what's negative becomes positive. And last, of course, all we do is tidy up our fraction by combining like terms. Okay, well, so much for the theory. Let's have a go at putting that into practice. Let's pick something, I don't know, x minus 1 over x plus 1. And we'll subtract x plus 1 over, and let's keep the denominator the same, x plus 1. Okay, so the first thing to notice is that the denominators are already the same, so we don't have to multiply the denominators. Now our first step, as always, is to stipulate what values for x would make the denominator 0 and exclude that value for x. So we need to stipulate that x is not equal to negative 1. Now this will only work provided x is not equal to negative 1. So now we can go ahead and subtract these fractions. We know the denominators are already the same, so we can skip the step where we make the denominator the same. So we've just got x minus 1 minus all of x plus 1 And just for neatness, I'll put these in brackets, even though the brackets are strictly speaking unnecessary. And that's all over x plus 1. Okay, so when we come to remove the brackets, we're subtracting all of this. So we're subtracting the x and we're subtracting the plus 1. So this becomes x minus 1, and we're subtracting x and we're subtracting plus 1, so it becomes minus 1. And all that's over x plus 1. And now we just tidy up. So x minus x becomes 0. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So this is negative 2 over x plus 1. Simple as that. Okay, let's try one more example. Let's make it a little bit more complicated so that we can get practice. Let's try something like 2x plus 1 over 2x minus 1. And we subtract, say, x minus 1 over 2x plus 1. Okay, so our first job is to stipulate what values for x are not acceptable. Well, if x was a half, then 2 times a half is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. And if x was negative a half, then 2 times negative a half is negative 1, and negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So x cannot be positive or negative a half, or else one of the two denominators would go to 0. So that being stipulated, let's have a look at what we've got. Our first job is to make the denominators the same, so let's multiply the denominators. So what have we got? We've got over 2x minus 1 into 2x plus 1. Okay, so our 2x plus 1 over on the left, it ends up being multiplied by 2x plus 1. So that's 2x plus 1 squared. And then on the right, we've got our x minus 1, which we multiplied by 2x minus 1. So that's minus all of x minus 1 into 2x minus 1. Okay, so that's equal to, well, 2x plus 1 squared is 4x squared plus 2 times 2x times 1, so that's just 2 times 2x, so that's 4x, plus 1 squared is 1. And that's got to be subtracted from all of x times 2x is 2x squared minus x minus 2x, which is minus 3x, and then minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. And all that is over, well, the denominator is just a difference of 2 squares, so that's 4x squared minus 1. And I'm out of space, so I'm going to create some space for myself. Get rid of this term, or this step. Bring this up. And now I've got some space to work with. Okay, so let's get rid of these brackets. So that's equal to, so we've still got our 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. And now we're subtracting 2x squared. We're subtracting negative 3x, so that becomes positive 3x. And we're subtracting 1, so that's minus 1. And of course all that's over 4x squared minus 1. And again I'll make some space for myself. Try and make a little bit more space. There we go. So now we just simplify the numerator. And in fact I'm going to gather like terms. So that's 4x squared minus 2x squared. So that's plus 4x plus 3x plus 1 minus 1. And all that's over 4x squared minus 1. And again I'm going to make some space for myself. So that's 4x squared minus 2x squared is just 2x squared. 4x plus 3x is 7x. Plus 1 minus 1 is 0, so that's just 2x squared plus 7x all over 4x squared minus 1. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Why don't you have a go at just inventing some algebraic fractions and subtracting them, remembering to figure out what values will make the denominator equal to 0 and exclude them, and then just subtract your fractions and simplify by expanding out, gathering like terms. And good luck with your revision, and good luck with your exams, and I'll see you in another video.